Hey guys, we're going to be learning how to do the Madhubani Sun. There's two different ways to do this. There's a male version that has a mustache and a little pitchfork, and then there's a female version that has a nose ring and a floral pattern on her forehead, along with some hair and jewelry. Okay, we're going to be learning about how to do these different patterns and designs. This does take a lot of work, but I think it's worth it in the end. I mean, it looks pretty cool when you're all done. So we're going to learn some options that you have. We're just going to practice, so don't worry about it looking perfect or anything. What you're going to need for this is a piece of paper, a pen or something to draw with, and a glass so we can trace the bottom for our shape of our sun. This is about 2 inches or so, so anything that's 2 or 3 inches wide will be a good shape or good size, and really anything that's around in your house you can use to trace, so it's up to you. Okay, all right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we're going to do our sun. So first we're just going to place our glass on the page. You can center it or put it wherever you like. Okay, and I'm just going to take my pen. I'm not going to use pencil or anything for this because in the traditional Madhubani style of art, they just use straight up pens. Okay, so now I have my basic circle, and Madhubani is all about doing layers and patterns, and also keeping spaces between those layers. So we're going to start off, and we can do circles on the inside or outside, but I'm going to do it on the outside. We're going to start off with doing another circle around this. I'm just following the same thing. Taking my time, make sure it's kind of the same width all the way around. If it's not, it's okay. We're just practicing. Okay, and I'm going to do one more. So I'm going to have 3 circles. Okay, so I'm going to do half and half. Okay, so I'm going to show you the male side and the female side. Okay, first thing we're going to do, or let's see, we actually need one more circle. I lied. Okay, so we're supposed to have 1, 2, 3 rings, and we only have 2 right now. So we're going to do one more ring on the outside, and we're just going to keep them small. These are maybe a little big, but it's okay. We're practicing. Make them smaller when we get better. Okay, now what we're going to do next is in this middle line here, we are going to do these little lines all the way around. They're going to be vertical, means up and down, little lines like that. Okay, and I'm going to keep them close to each other. And as I can't be straight anymore, I'm going to turn my page to help me, and I'm going to do this all the way around. This is called kachni. Kachni is the little lines. Okay, and when they do this a lot in their style of Madhubani art, and there's many different forms of Madhubani. There's some that are just 2 colors, like black and red. There's some that are more colorful. And the closer you keep your lines together, the nicer and neater it looks. So you really take your time. I'm not going to do it all the way around, but I just want you to kind of see how it looks. Okay, so that's called kachni. Okay, so anytime I say we're going to do kachni here, we're going to be doing those little lines. Okay, so that's going to create a division between our layers here. Okay, usually the pattern's always in between, and there's like a layer before and a layer after. Okay, so all right, so we're going to create some patterns around here, but before we do that, we're going to start on the inside of the face. Okay, so there's these big eyes, okay, that they have in their design. So we need to kind of try and think of what the half point of our circle is, okay, like maybe right in here. And we're going to try to draw big eyes in here, okay, towards the top. I'm going to do this upside down. Maybe I should do it right side up, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to do a big curve for my eye. Okay, so looks like that. And then I'm just going to curve another one under it to match. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, we're going to do that on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to make another big eye here. I'm going to leave some space in the middle. It's a little smaller than the other one, but it's all right. Okay. All right, so now we're going to create a circle inside of this eye. Now with the eyes, there are two different kinds of times of day with the sun too. So there's one where the eye is open, and then there's one where it is partly closed with a lid like this. That is noonday, okay, sun. So noonday sun, and it's just like the morning sun, okay? So different times of day, depending on where you put, if you put an eyelid or if you just put one, okay? So those are a couple options also for your eyes. Okay, so once we make our circles, we're going to do another circle in that, kind of towards the bottom. Okay, so it'll look like, oops, so it'll look like that. Okay. You guys feel free to pause this whenever you want. Okay, totally fine. All right, and we're gonna end up coloring those in. Okay, so you can do it with red, like I did in mine here, with black. I did this one all black with a little white and red, so you can vary it however you want. Okay. And I can even do a smaller circle inside of this one, and I can add more layers to it. Okay, so totally up to you and how you want to do that. I'm just going to color this one in here. Do another one over here. Okay, so we have noonday and morning sun. Now we're going to add some eyebrows, okay, over top. So I'm just going to follow the same curve of the eye. And I'm just going to make that line just a little wide for an eyebrow. Okay, so it looks like that. I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, I'm leaving a little space between the eye and where the eyebrow is. All right, so there we go. Okay, and now normally we'll fill in this eyebrow, and if we want to, we could put eyelashes on this. Okay, so let's say this is my female side. Maybe I want some eyelashes. I'm just going to do some little vertical lines up and down on the eyebrow, and I can color that in as well. And normally I would make sure these were a little more even, but we're just practicing for right now, so I'm not worrying too much about that. But you'll figure it out as you go. Okay, so that could be like a female eyebrow or a male. I guess you could give them eyelashes too. Okay, and for my female eye, I could also do eyelashes on the very bottom of the eye just by doing these tiny little vertical lines too, like we did on top. Okay, so just like that. Okay, I'm going to leave the other one kind of blank. You can also do a set of eyelashes on the bottom in a different way. You can curve it, do another thin line underneath, and then add your eyelashes. So there's a couple different options there. Okay, so either right on the eye or something underneath it. Okay, now for the nose. The nose is a little tricky, but not too bad. We're going to start down a little lower, and I'm going to start by doing a curve, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to attach a bigger curve to both sides. Oop, that was a little wonky. Okay, so it almost looks like a weird W or a fancy M. And now we're just going to bring these with diagonal lines up and in towards the middle of the eyes, kind of like a triangle. Okay, and then we have our nose. And now on the nose, if it's a female sun, I can attach a nose ring, which is just going to be like a circle around the nose, like that. Okay, and I can add little things to this, like I could do little circle dot designs, like a flower kind of thing on here. I could make a wheel on the inside. I could do flowers on the inside. So this is one option. Okay. Another option, I can do a dot in the middle. I'm going to divide this up into sections of 8, like that. And then I'm going to do these rounded kind of petals in each of those sections to make it look more like a flower. I'm just rounding the tops, so it becomes a rounded floral design. Okay. All right. So next is the lips. Okay. The lips, we're just going to make kind of like a long M, 2 big bumps. Okay. Just like that. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to curve underneath it, like so. And I'm going to do a line right in between the two. Okay. All right. And now we can shade these differently. I can do horizontal lines on the top. I could do vertical lines. So I'm going to do some horizontal ones here. I can do part of it red, part of it black. I can do quarter of it different. So however you want to do your design, if you want to do horizontal or vertical lines, you can vary it however you want, and this is where you have the freedom in your pattern. Okay, so I could do this whole top lip horizontal. I could do my whole bottom of the lip Cockney style. There we go. Okay, now if this is a man, we're going to include a mustache of some sort. Okay, it could be a thick mustache, be a thin mustache. I'm just going to curl up and around like that for a mustache. That way we know that's the male sun side. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, we need ears. Okay, so the ears are kind of funny looking. It's kind of like almost like an E or a 3. Okay, and we're going to do that on both sides. Okay, just like so. Okay, and also we need to add some hair. So for hair, we do these little bumps. I'm going to start from the middle here. And you could do this for both of them or just one or the other. So I'm going to bring these bumps all the way down to this ear. So you can see like that. And I can color those in. I can bring them down here a little further too. And I can even add in some little curls, which are just like little curved triangles for curled hair. Okay. And I can even add in jewelry. Like if I want to add in earrings, I could do triangles for the earrings, starting small and getting bigger as I go out. And this can be represent the earrings of the woman. Okay, so you see all those triangles? Yeah, so that's the earring. Okay, so I can color these in. Take my time and do a nice job to fill it all in. And like I said, you could do hair for the male side too. It's up to you. It's not necessarily just a female thing. You don't have to go down as far. Like you could stop at the ear. And make sure you're not going to color in the ear. I've done that before on accident. I'm like, whoops, that was not meant to be colored in. Okay, so this project does take a while, but I love it. I think it's very relaxing, peaceful, kind of like doing an adult coloring book, but you're like making the coloring book yourself. Okay, and I can color in these little ones down here for the hair and her little curls. Okay, just like that. All right, so we have the female side done pretty well. Now for the male side, like I said, he has normally this pitchfork kind of design in his forehead. So usually it'll be in the middle up in here between the eyes if it's a male or female. But since I'm showing you both, I'm going to do it over here. Okay, so we're just going to have first this little curve like a U. Okay, so start off with that. And then I'm going to do a line straight down in between it. Okay, I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm going to add these little triangles to the very top of the pitchfork. And this is the symbol of the male. So it should look kind of like that. Okay. Now for the female, she has a pretty floral design that'll also go in between the eyes. But like I said, I'm just showing it for you. So I'm going to start with a circle. And kind of like what we did with the nose ring, I'm going to start with a dot in the middle. And I'm going to divide this into 8 sections. And I'm going to just loop around, curving the tops of those sections to look like a flower. I'm going to create another circle around that. Remember, we do this in layers. I'm just going to color it in. Color it in black. This normally would be red, like a rose. Okay. And now I'm just going to add these little bumps like we did the hair for petals all the way around. Okay, so it looks like that. Hopefully you can see that okay. Okay. And I'm just going to add like a little raindrop at the very bottom and color that in as well. Okay. So that's the symbol for the female versus the male sun. Okay. All right, so we've got a pretty good sun going on here. And to end this off, if we have room at the chin, we can also do these 3 dots in the shape of an upside down triangle. Okay. That's also a common symbol used in Madhubani. All right. Now what we're going to do, we're going to add more patterns to our sun on the outside edge. Okay, so we can do bumps, we could do triangles. So I'm going to show you over here some different things. So we could do triangles like this. We could do bumps, or we could do these petal kind of designs. Okay, lots of different options for what we could do all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to keep this simple. Maybe for the girl side, I'm going to do bumps, and the male side, I will do triangles. Okay, so I'm going to start here, and if you want these all to be really exact and as nice as can be, there's a little trick that you can do where you can add dots. Okay, all the way around as far apart as you want them to be. You can even measure it with your finger if you want to, if that helps. So I don't know if you can see this. Okay, those dots. And that way you know where to connect your next loop to. Or you can just eyeball it and not worry about it. Okay? Like I said, with all these patterns and everything, it's going to end up being to where you're not going to notice those little things. But if you want to make sure you're doing your absolute best, you could do that. Okay, so I'm about at the halfway point. So now I'm going to start doing triangles so you can see the pattern with triangles. Triangles are more traditional with suns, but really you can do whatever you want. It's your choice, your pattern, your design. There's no right or wrong way to really do this, as long as you have layers and different lines separating the different patterns that you create. Okay, so this kachni goes all the way around here. I'm just going to do stuff real quick just so we can see the difference on the other side too. Kachni you should really take your time with to do nice straight lines all the way around and keep them nice and close. But I'm just showing you this just to get an idea. So I'm going to be kind of sloppy with it. Just so we know there's a pattern there. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do layers. So I'm going to do a copycat line now around the shapes that I just made. So I'm going to do bumps around the bumps. I'm just going to follow my pattern, taking my time. Make sure I'm leaving a little space. And then when I get to my triangles, I'm going to do my triangle pattern. I'm following, like I said, they're copycat lines. They're copying what I just did. With this, you could do the same thing too if you're not sure. Like you could do dots all the way around and in between in the middle if you want to know where to connect your lines. You can do that too. It's not really necessary though. You're just keeping close and following the exact pattern that you already have. Okay, so it should look like that when you're done. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do some patterns in this. And normally I would be using red and black, but I'm just going to do black. Or actually, I guess I'll get my red pen out just to show you. I usually just throw out all my pens on the floor, but that's okay. All right, so for example, if I wanted to, I could do vertical lines in red, keeping them close to each other. And then I could do horizontal black lines as a design if I wanted to. And here it needs to be closer than that. Okay, and I could do that all the way around, making a nice pattern of a red, black, red, black. Okay, I could do the same for my triangles too. I could do black horizontal lines and red vertical lines, or I can do red horizontal lines and black vertical lines, however you want to do it. Okay, so that's kachni. Or you can do other things as well, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, so we're just going to do that all the way around. You could even do it all in black. You don't even have to alternate colors if you want. So this is where your freedom comes in. Okay, so we're going to do that pattern all the way around. And see, this outer line helps to separate our patterns because we're going to do some more stuff on the other side. Okay, so I'm going to do now, I could do triangles for my next layer. I could do, I can go over all of these again. I can do the petals, I could do rounds, I could do triangles, however I want to do it. So I think I'm going to do triangles where the circles were, and I'm going to do petals where the triangles were. Okay, so I'm going to do triangles, but now I can do it either following the same loop, or I can do it in between these loops. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do triangle. It's bigger now. That connects in between them. This is adding more layers. I'm just going to do that all the way around. And it's okay if they're not the same, if they're not perfect. Just do the best you can. And just turn your page as you go to help you. Okay, and now I'm going to do a floral design. Okay, so I can either do it once again with the triangles, or I can do it in between, which I think I'm going to do in between since I did that already with the triangles. So I'm just going to loop and curve up and down. Okay, show you that again over here. So I'm curving, going in to a point, and I'm going to curve in and around. So it has a rounded bottom and a point. So it's kind of like Christmas lights. Okay, so I'm going to do that again in between each of my triangles that I have for my next layer. This makes for an interesting sun. Now you can practice these on another piece of paper before you start doing something like this if you want to make sure that it looks nice. That's what I do all the time. When I learn something new, I practice it several times on another piece of paper. And normally we would fill our entire page, but since we are since we're just practicing, we're not going to worry about filling up the whole page. But I'm going to show you how you can. Okay, so now we can do a different design in this triangle. Okay, but before that, I have to do my copycat lines. Okay, so once you do your shapes, you do a copycat line that follows. So again, I'm going to go around the whole thing, the copycat line. You can add as many layers as you want to your sun. It is up to you. And once I get to my petals, remember I have to follow the shapes of what is there. And these can get a little more tricky. It's almost like the triangles. I'm going to show you some cool patterns that we can do inside of these ones. Okay, so on the same side as I did these ones, there's a couple different things that we can do. We can do flowers. Okay, so like if I wanted to do a flower, I would do a little curve here. I could do it at the tip of the triangle, or I can do it towards the bottom. So I'm going to do it at the tip, and I'm going to do these little petals, okay, just round circles. I can color this in with black, and then I can do this with red to alternate it. Okay, so I'm going to show you over here what I did. So I just did half a circle. Okay, say that was the part that I'm working on, and then I just did, okay, so like that, and then I'm doing these petals just like that. Okay, all right, so I can do it at the top like this one, and I can add 3 little lines with circles at the tops for like a type of plant. So it looks like that. Okay, or I can reverse it. I can do the plant on the bottom, or the flower, I mean, on the bottom, and have the plant come from the top. Or I could do Kachni again. So it's really up to you. I could even alternate this. I could have the middle be red and have the petals be black. It's up to you. Okay, there's no right or wrong way to do your patterns. It's all what's in your own head. Okay. I personally like the red petals better, but yeah. Okay, so we're just filling it with some sort of pattern, some sort of design all the way through. Okay, so that would be our next layer. And then when you have all your layers done, we're going to think about what kind of rays we could create outside of our sun. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of different kinds. So there's one, and you want to come straight out from wherever the tip is, okay, that you're going to make a little thicker than what your other lines are going to be. And you can end this one with a horizontal line that looks like a cross at the end. Okay, so like that. Or you can do one that is just a straight line, or I could do a straight line that comes out with a circle at the end that's thicker. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this again. Okay, so a couple options. You could also do curved flames. Okay, so you could even curve out and come back in like that. You can make them thicker. Okay, you could do that all the way around. You could, of course, with your copycat line around that. Okay, this could have a pattern on the inside with diagonal lines, or horizontal, or vertical. Okay, you could even color it in, like with this one. Maybe do the outside red and the inside black. Okay, many different options here for the ends of your sun. Oh no, I think my pen's gonna finally give out on me. Been using it so much. Okay, so your choice, what you want to do. Usually there's some other layer here. If you want to do a layer within a layer, you can as well. I mean, like I said, it's up to you how you want to do your patterns and your designs, as long as there's something to separate everything out. And then usually in between whatever your design is for your flames, you do really close kachni throughout the entire thing until it fills the whole page. So I would come here and I would do a line that follows that path. Okay, and even goes all the way to the edge. So I fill this whole thing with kachni. Because in Madhubani, they fill up the whole page. So it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of patience. But like I said, it looks really cool when you're all done. Okay, and that's how I got the rays here. Okay, so you can see that. So these ones are darker, the ones that came out from the petals. And this one, if you notice, as this curves, my lines curve also. Okay, if you can see that too well. It's hard to adjust this. There we go. Okay, and then that's pretty much all there is to it. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that lesson on how to do the sun. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, you can make your little zine, Madhubani style if you want to, like I did. And you can see the different patterns and designs, and like I said, it takes a lot of time, but once you finish, you're going to be like, did I do that? That's really cool. Okay, so take your time, have fun with it, and if you have any further questions, you can ask me. Okay, and there's a lot more fun things to try out, so make sure you check on those other items as well. Okay, see you next time.